There is something you must understand about life. The moment you stand for something, people will start talking about you. If you decide to be different, if you choose to break free from mediocrity, if you dare to walk in your purpose, people will talk. They will analyze, criticize, and even scandalize your decisions. But here's the truth. Their opinions do not define your destiny. The problem with most people is that they spend their lives trying to fit in, afraid of what others will say. But let me ask you a question. When has a great man or woman ever been accepted by the crowd? History doesn't remember those who blended in. It remembers those who stood out. People will talk about you because you challenge their comfort. They are used to failure, so when they see someone succeed, it disturbs them. They are used to excuses, so when they see someone take responsibility, it exposes their laziness. They are used to being controlled by fear, so when they see courage, it reminds them of what they could have been. There is something powerful about standing for what you believe in. The moment you decide to rise above the average, to step into your purpose and to move in the direction of your destiny, you will attract attention. Some will celebrate you, others will criticize you, and many will misunderstand you. But one thing is certain, you will not go unnoticed. The world has never been kind to those who challenge the status quo. The moment you decide to think differently, to pursue excellence, or to break free from limitations, people will begin to talk. Some will admire your courage, while others will question your decisions. Some will be inspired by your boldness, while others will feel threatened by your progress. But here is the truth. You cannot live your life trying to please people who have no vision for their own. Too many people remain stuck in life because they are waiting for approval. They seek permission to be great, hoping that one day everyone around them will validate their dreams. But let me tell you something. If you wait for the approval of people, you will never move forward. The opinions of others do not define your destiny. Their acceptance is not a requirement for your assignment. In fact, the very people who reject you today will be the ones who recognize your value tomorrow. History has shown that every great person who ever lived had to endure the resistance of those who could not see what they saw. If you choose to live at the level of mediocrity, no one will bother you. But the moment you decide to break free, to become more, to demand more from life, you will become a topic of discussion. People will analyze your choices, question your motives, and even doubt your ability. But listen to me. People's opinions do not have the power to cancel what God has already placed inside of you. You must understand that when people talk, it is often not about you, it is about them. Some people talk because they feel convicted by your progress. Your success reminds them of what they could have done but never attempted. Your discipline exposes their laziness. Your courage magnifies their fear. And because they are not willing to change, they try to discredit those who do. But here is the secret. You cannot allow their voices to silence your vision. When you know who you are, when you are confident in the assignment given to you, the noise of others becomes irrelevant. You do not need everyone to agree with you. You do not need them to understand your journey. You only need to remain faithful to the purpose you were created for. Let them talk. Let them criticize. Let them misunderstand. But keep moving. Keep building. Keep growing. Because in the end, history is never written by those who talk. It is written by those who take action. The world has always resisted those who choose to stand out. The moment you decide to pursue greatness, you will realize something profound. You no longer fit in. The crowd is comfortable with familiarity. But the ones who truly make a difference in this world are the ones who refuse to conform. They are the ones who dare to think differently, to see beyond the present, and to believe in something greater than what exists. Look at history. Every great leader, every visionary, every pioneer was rejected before they were respected. The greatest minds of our time were once considered strange, unrealistic, even foolish. People mocked their ideas, resisted their vision, and tried to silence their voices. But what happened? Time revealed the truth. The very ones who were once ignored became the ones whose names are remembered. The people who were ridiculed for being different became the ones who shaped the future. You must understand that the crowd is comfortable with what is common. It follows trends, not truth. It accepts what is easy, not what is right. The moment you choose to live with purpose, the moment you decide to think beyond what is popular, you become a threat to the mindset of the majority. People are not afraid of change. They are afraid of those who bring change. Because change forces them to confront their own reality, and most people would rather remain where they are than be challenged to grow. When you refuse to settle, when you choose to rise above the limitations that others have accepted, people will talk. They will question your motives. They will criticize your decisions. Not because you are wrong, but because your boldness exposes their complacency. The ones who ridicule you today are not necessarily against you. They are simply uncomfortable with what you represent. You represent progress. You represent possibility. You represent a reality that they have not yet embraced. But here's what you must never forget. If you try to please the crowd, you will lose yourself. If you shrink to fit in, you will never fulfill the purpose for which you were created. Every great person had to walk alone before others followed. Every leader had to endure rejection before they were recognized. The question is not whether people will resist you. The question is whether you will keep going despite their resistance. Let them question you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them doubt you. But never lower yourself to the level of those who refuse to rise. You were not born to fit in. You were born to lead, to influence, to set a new standard. And the moment you embrace that truth, the voices of the crowd will no longer matter. Because in the end, history never remembers those who conformed. It remembers those who had the courage to stand alone. The moment you start making progress in life, something strange happens. People begin to talk, they begin to question, criticize, and even resist what you are doing. But have you ever asked yourself why? Why do people seem more comfortable when you stay where you've always been, but the moment you start moving forward, their attitude changes? It is because criticism is confirmation of progress. No one criticizes someone who is standing still. No one talks about a person who is going nowhere. But the moment you start rising, the moment you start breaking limits, the moment you start becoming more, you become a target for opinions. You must understand that resistance is part of the journey to greatness. Every person who has ever done something significant has faced opposition. In fact, if you are not being criticized, it may be a sign that you are not doing anything worth noticing. The moment you step out of the ordinary and begin to operate in your true potential, you will attract attention, both positive and negative. Some will celebrate you, but others will resist you. Some will be inspired, but others will feel threatened. Some will cheer you on, but others will try to pull you back. That is the nature of progress. People criticize what they do not understand. When you start walking in purpose, when you start making decisions that align with your vision, there will be those who question you, not because you are wrong, but because they do not have the capacity to see what you see. Your progress exposes their limitations. Your discipline makes their excuses uncomfortable. Your determination reveals their lack of commitment. And instead of changing themselves, many people find it easier to criticize those who are willing to do what they refuse to do. But here is the secret. Do not let their words distract you. If you spend your life trying to explain yourself to people who have no vision for their own lives, you will waste valuable time. The people who are talking about you are often the ones who are doing nothing themselves. Those who criticize the most usually contribute the least. But those who are truly great, those who are truly making an impact, do not waste their energy tearing others down. They are too busy building their own success. You cannot let opinions stop you from fulfilling your assignment. You must learn to move forward whether people approve of you or not. You must be willing to keep building even when others doubt you, because the same people who criticize you today will be the ones who come back tomorrow asking how you did it. The same ones who resist you now will eventually recognize the results of your faithfulness. So let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them misunderstand. It is not your job to convince them. It is your job to keep moving. Because in the end, progress will always silence criticism. The moment you decide to rise above average, to break free from limitations, and to pursue your God-given purpose, you will notice something. You will start making people uncomfortable, not because you have done anything wrong, but because your success exposes their insecurities. People are used to mediocrity. They are used to excuses, delays, and settling for less than they were created for. So when they see someone stepping out in faith, refusing to be held back by fear, and taking responsibility for their future, it disrupts their sense of normal. It forces them to confront the reality that they too had a choice. And for many, that realization is too much to handle. Have you ever noticed that when you were struggling, nobody seemed to have a problem with you? When you were making the same excuses as everyone else, people accepted you. But the moment you started growing, learning, changing, and succeeding, suddenly some people had an issue with you. Why? Because success is a mirror. It reflects back to people who they could have been if they had chosen discipline over comfort, vision over distraction, and action over procrastination. Your progress will reveal the hidden thoughts of those around you. Some will celebrate you, but others will resent you, not because you have done anything wrong, but because your success makes them feel convicted. When you start making progress, you remove the excuses they once used to justify their own lack of. You prove that it is possible. You show that faith, hard work, and obedience to purpose produce results. And instead of being inspired, some people choose to resist you because it is easier to criticize than to change. But here is what you must understand. You are not responsible for how others feel about your growth. You do not need to apologize for your progress. You do not need to slow down so that others feel comfortable. Your success is not arrogance. It is obedience to the assignment God has placed in your life. If someone feels uncomfortable because of your progress, it is not your job to shrink. It is their job to grow. When people are insecure, they will try to project that insecurity onto you. They will say things like, "You've changed. You think you're better than us, or why are you trying so hard?" But listen carefully. These are not accusations. They are confessions. They are revealing their own fears, their own self-doubt, and their own reluctance to rise higher. Do not take it personally. Keep moving forward. True friends, true supporters, true leaders are those who celebrate when you rise. They are the ones who are inspired by your growth, not intimidated by it. The people who belong in your life will not try to pull you back. They will push you forward. And as you grow, you will begin to attract the right people, those who are committed to progress just like you. So do not be afraid to move ahead. Do not be afraid to succeed. Do not be afraid to become everything you were created to be. Because in the end, you are not responsible for how others see your success. You are only responsible for fulfilling your purpose. There is something powerful about the process of becoming who you were created to be. In the beginning, people will doubt you. They will question your choices, criticize your ideas, and even mock your dreams. They will tell you that you are unrealistic, that you are aiming too high, that you should settle for what is safe and familiar. But if you remain faithful, if you stay committed to your vision, if you keep building when no one is watching, the very people who doubted you today will be the ones quoting you tomorrow. This is the nature of success. People resist what they do not understand, but once results begin to manifest, they cannot ignore the evidence. When you are in the process of becoming, the crowd does not see the full picture. They see the struggles, the sacrifices, and the uncertainties, and they assume you are making a mistake. But what they fail to realize is that greatness is never obvious at the beginning. It is built over time. It is shaped through perseverance. It is revealed through consistency. Think about the stories of those who have made a lasting impact in history. The greatest minds, the most influential leaders, and the pioneers of change were often rejected at first. Their ideas were considered foolish. Their dreams were seen as impossible, but they did not stop because of criticism. They did not abandon their vision just because others could not see it. And in the end, the same world that laughed at them had no choice but to acknowledge their influence. You must understand that people's opinions are temporary, but purpose is eternal. If you are seeking validation from those who have no vision for their own lives, you will never move forward. You do not need their approval. You do not need their understanding. What you need is the courage to keep going even when no one believes in you. Because if you stay committed to your assignment, there will come a day when the same voices that once dismissed you will start repeating your words, sharing your wisdom, and admiring what you have built. You see, most people only believe in success once they can see it. They do not have the faith to recognize potential in its early stages. That is why many will ignore you while you are in your season of preparation, but they will celebrate you when you reach your season of manifestation. It is not that you suddenly became great overnight. It is that they finally opened their eyes to what was always inside of you. But here is what you must remember. Never hold bitterness against those who doubted you. When they return, when they acknowledge what you have accomplished, do not reject them. Do not remind them of their past words. Because true success is not about proving people wrong. It is about fulfilling your purpose. When you arrive at the place you were destined to be, you will not have time for resentment. You will only have room for gratitude. So keep going, keep building, keep believing. Because in the end, it is not the doubters who define your future. It is the fulfillment of your purpose that will speak for you. One of the greatest challenges in life is learning how to stay focused. The moment you start moving towards your destiny, you will realize that distractions will come in two forms: criticism and praise. Some will try to stop you through negativity, while others will attempt to slow you down through admiration. But whether people speak against you or for you, whether they doubt you or celebrate you, whether they reject you or follow you, you must remain focused on your assignment. Many people fail, not because they are incapable, but because they allow the noise of others to dictate their direction. Some are discouraged by the words of those who do not believe in them, while others become complacent because of the approval of those who admire them. But listen carefully. Both criticism and praise can be dangerous if you allow them to control you. When people criticize you, there is a temptation to stop and defend yourself. You feel the need to explain, to prove them wrong, to make them understand your vision. But let me tell you something. Not everyone is meant to understand you. Not everyone has the capacity to see what you see. If you spend your time trying to convince people who have no faith in your journey, you will waste valuable energy that should be used in fulfilling your purpose. Do not let their negativity slow you down. But there is another side to this. Praise can be just as dangerous as criticism. Many people start well, they work hard, they remain committed, but the moment they receive recognition, they become comfortable. They start enjoying the applause, and slowly, they lose their drive. They start living for approval rather than for purpose. And before they realize it, they have stopped growing, stopped learning, and stopped moving forward. Success is not measured by how many people celebrate you. It is measured by how faithful you remain to your vision. You must make up your mind that no matter what people say, good or bad, you will keep going. If they criticize you, keep building. If they praise you, stay humble and keep working, because in the end, it is not the opinions of others that determine your destiny. It is your ability to stay focused and finish what you were born to do. Do not allow rejection to break you, and do not allow praise to blind you. Stay committed, stay faithful, keep moving forward, because in the end, it is not applause that makes history. It is obedience to purpose. As you walk this journey of purpose, remember this. People will talk, but their words do not define you. Some will doubt you, others will resist you, and many will misunderstand you, but none of that matters if you remain focused. Do not be discouraged by criticism, and do not be distracted by praise. Keep moving forward, keep building, keep growing, because in the end, it is not their opinions that will shape your destiny. It is your obedience to the calling placed within you. The same people who question you today will quote you tomorrow. The same voices that once resisted you will one day recognize you. But do not seek validation from man. Stay faithful to the vision God has given you, whether they accept you or reject you, whether they celebrate you or criticize you. Stay true to your purpose. So go forward with confidence. Stand firm in who you were created to be, and no matter what comes your way, never stop becoming the person you were destined to be. Good luck on your journey, and may you walk boldly into your purpose. Thank you.